It's so much more amusing to have academic cheats try to fool you when you also have the smarts to detect their baloney, even without being an academic. And when I'm saying academic cheats, I'm talking about the tsunami of bogus, predatory, and straight up fake medical papers that are flooding the scientific literature. This junk science gets laundered by blogs, it gets picked up by the media, and it even influences our genius politicians. As a researcher, this is what really ticks me off. Now, here is where all this is coming from. The academic publishing world has a ludicrously lucrative business model. They get researchers to write articles for free, get other researchers to review them for free, and then charge everyone to read the final product. It's an industry with cartel level profit margins. And all that has spawned a copycat industry, predatory publishers. They serve academics who have two things in common: nothing worth publishing and a desperate need to fool us into thinking otherwise. It's a byproduct of the publish or perish paradigm. You can't complain about it. You can, and probably shouldn't, lose your trust in science, or you can learn to separate the science from the sham. So my post and this video is about giving you the smarts to do just that. It's a tool, a COVID-type rapid test for bogus science. And the best part? We are going to enlist the exact same tool that spawns most of this slop in the first place: artificial intelligence. It's like what companies do. They hire white hat hackers to hack-proof their systems. So let me show you a real-world example how this rapid test works. Right after I published my last post on statins and coronary artery calcium scans, two papers on that exact topic hit my research radar. And they reside on the opposite ends of the credibility scale. Now here's Exhibit A: The Power and the Limits of Zero by Lim and Lim. It's a so-called case study on coronary artery calcium, or CAC scoring, and it was published by SERP. That's short for Scientific Research Publishing, a name that sounds legit until you realize it's on every predatory journal list. Just think of those lists as the science equivalent of a sex offender registry. Being on that list is already a massive red flag. But let's look at the paper itself. You don't need to be a scientist to spot this. There are duplicated texts, there are fragmented sentences. This paper never went through a peer review process. What we have done just now is a sloppiness check, and this paper failed miserably. The authors tried to present a paradox that a patient's CAG scan was misleading. The actual case was a 67-year-old woman, high risk, with an Egerton score of 465. But the authors call it a paradox because one of her arteries had a 0 calcium score, and it was that artery that needed a bypass. That's not a paradox. That's a textbook limitation of the test. It's not something that should have made it into a publisher's case report in the first place. The authors simply dressed up a run-of-the-mill case, called it a paradox, and paid to publish it in some journal for the simple reason that they now can inflate their publication list with another dud. And if any one of our politician geniuses reads it, they might decide that paying for your CAC scan simply isn't worth the expense. I see this stuff all the time, papers that look professional but collapse the moment you start to poke them. And that's when I thought, if authors use AI to produce that slop to dress it up as real science, why not use AI to unmask it? So I built a 5-prompt rapid test for scientific credibility. Here is how it works. You can feed any research paper into an AI tool like Gemini, ChatGPT, whatever you use, and run these 5 prompts. Prompt 1 is the sloppiness check. It looks for duplicated sentences, broken formatting, and gibberish. Prompt 2 is journal and publisher vetting. It asks if a journal is indexed in PubMed or flagged as predatory. Prompt 3 is a reference audit. It checks if the citations actually exist. Prompt 4 is about scientific process credibility. Does the paper show data, logic, and transparency? And prompt 5 is a kind of a red flag summary. Let AI list the biggest warning signs. Now, here is how it came out. The paper failed miserably. Now, compare that bogus study to a real one on the same topic. It's Su and colleagues in Circulation Research. It's the same subject. It's a paradox, but this one is a real one. We know exercise is one of the best things for your heart, but multiple studies show that older male endurance athletes with a lifelong exposure to high training volumes have more coronary calcification than sedentary guys. But still, the athletes also have much better survival prospects. So how can the healthiest people have more of a disease marker and still live longer? Now that is a real scientific question. The authors don't have the final answer and they don't pretend to. Instead, they review all the potential mechanisms like inflammation, hormones, mechanical stress to figure it out. That's real science, transparent, cautious, and it summarizes the state of knowledge. So here is how these two studies fared on the 5-prompt rapid test in comparison. One failed miserably, the other passed with flying colors. Now here's your takeaway. The same AI that floods the web with nonsense can also flag it if you know how to ask. You can use my 5-prompt test as your COVID type swab for bogus science. It's not perfect, but it'll keep you from getting infected by bogus claims, by miracle headlines and academic cheats. Nowadays, trust in science begins with knowing where not to place it. This is the tool you can use to vet the next health article before you even start reading it. It's also a rapid test to use before you trust a study that's trying to sell you on a supplement or a new diet. And it's my way of turning my frustration into a tool for you. If you want to download the free PDF with all 5 prompts, you'll find it on my Substack, Double Check Doc, on Medium, and on my Gumroad page.